Welcome to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry channel. I'm Maynard Edwards, 32nd degree KCCH. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because there's stuff coming up you are not going to want to miss. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in to our live Halloween Ghost Watch 2022 here at the House of the Temple in Washington, D.C. The building is over 100 years old, and there are lots and lots of reports of hauntings, and we set up cameras and we kept an eye on them all night long. We left them up and running. The ghosts were pretty quiet, and I felt a little bit like Geraldo Rivera opening Al Capone's vault.
As it turns out, we haven't found very much, at least not yet.
But almost as soon as I shut the microphone off and things got quiet here at the House of the Temple, some friends who we couldn't see decided to make their presence known. We're going to go through this and look at the footage, and I will show you this almost in real time of what it is, what we have found, and what we can't explain. Now, there are some things I'll tell you that we can completely explain. Some sounds on here that are easy to dismiss and debunk immediately and say, it's definitely not a ghost, it's this other thing. But there are some things that I simply have no explanation for. One thing I do want to mention is about 15 minutes after I closed my microphone, so about 10:15 Halloween night, one of our cameras died for no real reason. It just was gone. And it was the one that was focused on the tomb of Albert Pike and Grand Commander John Henry Coles. It is John Henry Coles who most of us believe kind of still wanders the hall. He lived here for a long time and he passed away in the building. He is interred in the building. So if anyone's spirit is haunting the old House of the Temple, Brother John Henry seems like it's a fair candidate. So the camera facing him, for no real reason, snapped closed. Could that have been a computer goof up? Possibly, maybe even probably, but it was a little strange. However, some of the other things we've got here on audio are less easy to dismiss. Let's put it that way. A little harder just to brush off. And we're going to take a look at this now, and you can decide for yourself. As you can see, this is over 10 hours long. Okay, and here, let's forward this a little bit where you got an image on screen. So you can see here, this audio here, that's not a ghost. That's just me coming on, and there's Brother Matt Bowers also. So this is me yapping. That's what all of this audio is. So we can immediately just get rid of that. Now let's go ahead and bounce to the end. We can also get rid of a lot of this because this is 9.5, almost 10 hours later, and we know that the building was starting to open for the day. So you'll see the lights come on in the Grand Commander's corridor, and you'll see, that's Brother Ray Johnson. That's he came in and he opens up the building every morning around 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So all of this we can also dismiss. So we'll actually just get rid of all of that. I am going to get rid of this section of me yapping right here because we didn't really hear or see anything in that time. So let's get rid of that, and that'll leave us with the times that things were totally quiet and very empty here in the House of the Temple. Now already we can see some waveforms and things that are down here. And let's take a listen to one of the things that happened before I came on. And so the temple at this point is quiet. No one is here. The last staffer left a little bit after 6 o'clock. We know that for a fact. We've checked our security cameras and we checked the door logs, so we know when the last staffer was out of the building. It was Tori, who is a member of our building and grounds crew, and he went through, closed everything up for us, and we know exactly when he left the building. So the building is now empty, and if you see here, there is some stuff on the waveform. It's nice and quiet, but it's tough to hear. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move this over into an audio editing program, take this clip here, and we're going to listen in, and we're going to boost it up a little bit, just like we did with that Albert Pike EVP we had a little while ago. So let's get into this, and I'll give you as much space as possible. So already I see that there's something here, but it's kind of quiet. So I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna raise the volume on all of this. So I've not listened to a lot of this. Let's give it a listen. Remember, there's no one in the building. Now that sounds like somebody walking around. All of this noise that we're seeing here, it all came from the Grand Commander's corridor. And I'll be honest with you, the Grand Commander's hallway is where most of the action took place all night long. So let's go back over here and see if we can't discern anything. That really sounds like somebody moving. That is one of our large wooden doors slamming shut. And every staffer who has heard that, everyone that works here said, well, it's one of the doors slamming. We hear it. We know what it sounds like. And that, what is that? So these three sounds, and they happen variously through the night in that Grand Commander's corridor there. Now let's move on to after the broadcast. So I cut the broadcast out here, remember. We did capture some noise up in the temple room at one point, and I want to check that out, because there's one thing I can debunk just to prove to you that, like, we can tell what sounds are what. Okay, so this is the temple room, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take it over into that audio editing program. First of all, let's raise it up and see if there's any artifacts we don't see, because you see, now there's a couple of things here that weren't there before by just boosting that overall level. Probably just artifacts, but let's start here and see what we got here. Now, at first blush, that might seem like it's some spooky thing, but I will tell you with 100% certainty, that is a car going up 16th Street. The reason I know that is because often when I'm filming in the temple room, and I actually, for numerous reasons, avoid filming in the temple room. It's beautiful, but there's a lot of echo, and that front door, the front-facing part of the building, there are 3 doors and large windows that just let the sound come right in. 100% certain that is not a ghost. That is a car or a motorcycle or something motorized going up 16th Street directly in front of our building. 100% certain of that. This, I listened to it earlier, a little less certain of this one. It sounds like something is touching that camera. Like, and here's a for instance. I will go ahead and I'm going to touch this mic. I'm wearing a mic, obviously, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch it and just compare the sounds. That's what that sounds like. That's what it sounded like up in the temple room. Now, if we're looking at the video, the camera's not moving or shaking, we don't see anything in the room. And that camera was on a tripod, is on a large plastic tripod, and it was a webcam similar to the one on top of my computer right here. I don't want to touch it because it's the one I'm using to do this, but it was a webcam, and it was on a tripod set up separately. The computer was sitting on a table next to it, so very stable, very sturdy, but it sure sounds like somebody touching and tampering with that microphone. Is that footsteps? Hold on, let's pull that out of there. That sounded a little like footsteps. It's definitely something near that camera moving about. Let's watch that camera very closely. There's nothing in that room. Weird. All right, so this is 5 hours after I started taping. So this is about 1 o'clock in the morning here. So we've got, it's quiet, 1:20-ish. And then we've got, now I think we're gonna see this switch to the Grand, yeah, back to the Grand Commander's corridor, and we're gonna see this again. That was something in this building slamming a door, and there's no one in the building. Listen to it, listen to it, listen again. Makes me jump out of my skin. You can hear the echo. You can hear it reverberate in the room. What is that? That was in the Grand Archivist's room. Oh, I got goosebumps. Watch, watch, watch. You'll see the camera switch. If you'll recall, we have a Burl Ives EVP that was recorded here in 2007. I think I mentioned it at the top of this video. And it was recorded in that room. It's now the Grand Archivist's collection. So here's that EVP. Let's play that again for you. But listen to this. Let's put these side by side. So the first one you'll hear will be the recording from this year, the House of the Temple Ghost Watch. And the second one is going to be the bang that was recorded back in 2007. Same room, pretty close. Now here's the one I want to share with you. What was that? Can't identify that at all. Building's empty. No people are around. And even so, what is that? And then here's another one that is just, I'm hard pressed to say what it is. I mean, is that footsteps? Door slam. No idea what the heck that is. 11 o'clock at night. House of the Temple is dark and quiet, and we hear these sounds in an otherwise empty hallway. So is the House of the Temple haunted? Well, it's going to be very difficult to prove conclusively that the place is haunted unless, the ghost of John Henry Coles decides to sit down for an interview. If he does decide to do that, you're going to have to call another interviewer because I will Scooby-Doo it right the heck out of here. But having said that, I think we can safely say that there are things in this building that go bump in the night that are extraordinarily difficult to explain. We've got it Certainly the sound of doors slamming, some other things being moved around. I definitely feel like I hear the sound of footsteps. It sounds a little like voices speaking, maybe distantly. What do you think? Drop a comment below. Give me your theory. Tell me what you heard. And if you want to try and download this and listen for yourself and maybe poke around with your own audio tools, have at it. I would love to hear your theories. If you're a Freemason and you've got a ghost story from your lodge you want to share, please share that in the comments below. I'm Maynard Edwards, 32nd degree KCCH, Scottish Rite Freemason. We're going to do more with this ghost hunting at the House of the Temple over the next few weeks and months. And you can bet we're going to do another Halloween special in 2023. In the meantime, I'd love to know what you think about our Halloween special 2022. And please make sure you go back and check out some of the other videos. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that the next time we get some good ghost evidence, we can share it with you right away. Thanks. See you soon.